For over 300 years, Earth had been silent. The rest of the galaxy had moved on, ignoring the small blue planet in the corner of space. To most alien races, humans were nothing more than a forgotten experiment. Wild, emotional, and unpredictable, the Galactic Council never needed them, until now, a silver ship appeared in Earth's orbit, smooth, silent, and unlike anything Earth had ever seen. Within minutes, it sent a signal, not one of war, but of peace. The message was clear. We offer friendship. The Council requests Earth's help. People across the planet stared at the news in disbelief. Aliens, real aliens, asking for Earth's help? Why now? What did they want? Inside a hidden base under the Rocky Mountains, Earth's top leaders met in silence. The signal had been verified. It wasn't fake. The Council, a powerful alliance of hundreds of alien species, had finally reached out to humanity, after centuries of ignoring them. They never cared about us before, General Reeves said, crossing his arms. Now they want our help? They said they need our strength, replied Director Lin. They are in a war, one they're losing. A deep silence followed. They want us as soldiers, President Hale finally said. Not friends, tools. Still, curiosity and opportunity pushed Earth to answer. This could be humanity's chance to join the stars, to no longer be alone. A decision was made. A response was sent. Within a week, the alien ship returned, this time landing in a secure zone in the Nevada desert. From its glowing doors walked tall, thin beings with silver skin and calm faces. Their leader introduced herself as High Envoy, Celari of the Galactic Council. We admire your species, she said with a gentle voice. You have overcome war, disease, and death. Your spirit is strong, your strength unmatched. The galaxy needs warriors like you. Humanity had questions, lots of them. What kind of war? Against who? Why now? But Celari's answers were always the same, vague, polite, and wrapped in smiles. We fight a darkness rising across the stars, she said, one we cannot face alone. Despite the unease, Earth agreed to a limited alliance, a test mission. A small team of 12 elite human soldiers would join a council operation on a distant world. In return, Earth would get access to alien knowledge, technology, and a seat at the table. The 12 chosen were the best, trained in silence, survival, and strategy. Men and women who had seen war and didn't blink. Among them was Lieutenant Sarah Knox, a brilliant tactician with ice in her veins, and Corporal Jaden Price, a demolition expert who smiled too much in battle. Each had a reason to fight. Each had something to prove. They were briefed quickly, armed carefully, and entered the alien vessel without looking back. As the doors closed behind them, a strange silence filled the command center. Do you think they know what they're walking into? President Hale asked. General Reeves didn't answer. His eyes remained on the fading ship, now lifting into the sky like a silver ghost. Inside the alien ship, things felt off. The halls were too quiet, the air was too clean. Council soldiers watched the humans from a distance, whispering in strange languages. Their eyes held curiosity and fear. Knox noticed it first. They're scared of us, she said quietly. Jaden laughed. Good. Let them be. The journey to the war zone took 2 days. No one told the humans much, no details about the enemy. No reason why the Council, with all its armies, suddenly needed help from a small world they once ignored. Knox met with the mission leader, a short reptilian creature named Commander Trask. His tone was polite, but his words were cold. You are here to fight. Obey orders. Nothing more. Knox stared at him. Understood. She didn't trust him. None of them did. The team was dropped onto a planet called Velos 9. Ruined buildings, black skies, and wind that carried the smell of metal and ash, the perfect place for a fight. They set up camp, watched, waited. Strange signals echoed from the dark valleys beyond. Alien scouts whispered about old weapons buried deep underground, machines from a forgotten age that had begun to move again. The first fight came fast. Shadow-like creatures rushed the outpost. Fast, silent, and deadly. Council soldiers panicked. They fired wildly, broke formation, and ran. But the humans didn't. Knox gave calm orders. Jaden placed mines. The others moved like wolves, silent, deadly, efficient. In 7 minutes, enemy was destroyed. Not one human was lost. The council soldiers stared in shock. "You're not like us," one of them whispered. "You enjoy this." Knox just checked her weapon. "We survive, that's all." But something deeper had awakened. Back on the council ship, High Envoy Solari watched the battle reports with a frown. The humans were more than just strong. They were unpredictable. They adapted too quickly. They didn't follow patterns. "Perhaps we invited more than strength," she said softly. "Perhaps we invited a storm." In the far corner of space, Earth received a message from their team. It was short, but clear. "Mission underway. They don't understand us. Not yet." And in the silence of space, something stirred. They wanted humanity's strength, but they had no idea what was coming. The humans moved fast through the ruins of Velos 9. The sky was always dark here, filled with black clouds that never moved. Lightning flashed in the distance, but no thunder came. The air was cold, dry, dead. Lieutenant Sarah Knox gave hand signals as her team moved forward. 12 humans, silent and ready. Their boots made no sound on the broken ground. Behind them, the council soldiers stayed far back, watching like nervous children. "This place is wrong," Jaden whispered. "Too quiet." Eyes forward, Knox replied. "Let's finish this fast." The mission was simple, or so they were told. A lost council research base had gone dark. Strange readings were coming from underground. The humans were ordered to investigate, secure the area, and report back. But as they entered the ruins, they knew something wasn't right. Burn marks covered the walls. Metal doors had been torn open from the inside. Weapons lay scattered, untouched. There were no bodies, no blood, just silence. "Looks like they ran," said Sergeant DeMarco, scanning the area. "Or got taken." Knox crouched beside a terminal. The screen was cracked but still glowing. She pressed a few keys. Old logs. Flashed up. Cut-off messages, static-filled screams, and one final recording. "We opened the vault. We thought it was dead. We were wrong. We were—" The screen went black. Knox stood up. "They woke something up down there." The team found the entrance to the vault below the base. A massive door sealed by layers of code. Council engineers were already working on it, their hands shaking. "It's almost open," one said. "We need more time." Knox didn't like it. She stared at the door, then at the walls. Old carvings were hidden beneath the dust. Symbols, warnings, things not written in any council language. "What is this place?" she asked. The engineer looked around nervously. "They say it's from before the council was born, before the Great War, before memory." Knox narrowed her eyes. "And you just sent us in?" "We needed someone who could fight if it woke up." "And you picked us," Jaden said behind her, voice cold. "Nice." Then the ground shook, not a small tremor. A deep, angry vibration that rolled through their bones. The door groaned. "Everyone, weapons ready!" Knox shouted. The vault door burst open. Smoke poured out. Darkness followed. And then they saw it. A shape moved in the black fog. Tall, armored, glowing red eyes. Not flesh, not machine. Something in between. It didn't roar, it didn't run. It just walked forward, slow, heavy, unstoppable. The council soldiers screamed and fled. The humans held their ground. "Open fire!" Knox ordered. Bullets, lasers, and explosives lit up the darkness. The thing didn't flinch. It absorbed the hits, metal skin burning but not breaking. Then it moved faster, too fast. It slammed into one of the council guards and crushed him like paper. Knox and her team split, surrounding it, hitting it from all sides. Jaden tossed a grenade under its feet. The explosion made the floor crack, but the creature stood back up. "What the hell is this thing?" Jaden shouted. "A mistake," Knox replied. The fight lasted 20 minutes. 3 humans were wounded. 2 council soldiers were dead. Finally, Knox got close enough to place a charge on the creature's back. She dove clear just before it exploded. The thing collapsed, twitching, then stopped. It was over, for now. As they stood over the smoking wreck, one council officer returned, his eyes wide with fear. You killed it." Knox wiped blood from her face. "We stopped it. Big difference." Back at the command ship, High Envoy Solari watched the feed with tight lips. "They were never meant to win that fight," she whispered. Another advisor stepped forward. "Perhaps we underestimated them." "No," Solari said. "We all did." She turned away from the screen. "Send the report. Tell the council. Humanity has arrived, and they are not what we expected." Inside the human camp, Knox sat alone, watching the sky. Her wounds were bandaged. Her mind wasn't. "They're hiding something," she said. Jaden nodded, cleaning his weapon beside her. "Yeah, and we're just the bait." The stars above flickered, one by one, like something huge was moving between them. Whatever they had fought down there wasn't alone, and the humans had only seen the beginning. 3 days had passed since the vault mission, but none of the humans had slept well. Lieutenant Knox kept hearing the creature's last sound in her dreams, not a scream, not a roar, but a whisper, like it had been thinking even as it died. The council said nothing more. No debrief, no questions, only a new order. "Board the transport. Next mission awaits." The team was uneasy, but orders were orders. The transport ship was silent, guarded, by machines instead of soldiers. Even the pilot was a droid. No destination was given, no explanation. "Feels like a setup," Jaden muttered, checking his rifle. Knox nodded. "Then we play along, but eyes open." The ship flew into uncharted space. No stars, no stations, just blackness stretching forever. Then a shape appeared in the dark. A massive dead station orbiting a cracked moon. It looked abandoned. No power. No signs of life. "This wasn't in the records," DeMarco said. The droid pilot spoke flatly. "Mission: secure data core. Possible hostiles. Exit once objective is complete." "Exit?" Knox asked. "How do we exit?" But the droid was already shutting down. They landed in silence. As the ramp opened, the air smelled like rust and burned plastic. The floor was covered in dust. Lights flickered, barely alive. Knox's team moved in slowly, weapons drawn. No comms worked. "No signals escaped. We're jammed," said Jaden. "They knew we'd come here." "I know," Knox replied. "Stay close. Watch for anything that moves." The deeper they went, the worse it got. Doors were broken. Walls were burned. Deep. Claw marks scarred the metal, and then they found the first body. Human, a corpse in old Earth military armor, rotted and crushed against the wall. "This can't be," Knox whispered. "No one knew we were here before." But the body was real, and it wasn't alone. They found more, humans, all wearing unknown gear, as if another human team had been sent long ago and never came back. "What is this place?" DeMarco asked, his voice shaking. Jaden stared at the symbols on the walls. "This station isn't alien. It's ours. Or, it was." Knox looked around, thinking fast. This isn't a mission, it's a test. Suddenly, alarms screamed through the halls. Doors slammed shut. Red lights flashed. Traps activated. Turrets dropped from ceilings. Razor drones swarmed out of vents. "Ambush!" Knox yelled. The team fought back with precision and fury. They moved like machines, covering each other, never panicking. But the traps were old and clever. One hallway collapsed. Another locked them in. Knox forced open a security door using brute strength. Behind it was a command room, still powered. She rushed in and activated the controls. A holo lit up the room. It showed files, footage, logs, Project Echo Strike. It was Earth's. It always had been. The station had been a secret training ground. Built before Earth vanished from the galactic map. A place to test survival against impossible odds. But something had gone wrong. The AI had gone mad. The tests had never stopped. The first team, dead. The second, missing. And now, her team. They lured us here, Knox said, reading the final log. But before she could say more, the lights flickered again. The AI's voice came through the walls. Cold, robotic. Test Subject Group 4. Detected. Evaluation begins. The walls shifted. Ceilings dropped. Gas hissed into the air. They had no way out. "Jaden, set charges," Knox ordered. "We're not dying in someone else's maze." Explosions rocked the structure. They blasted their way through walls and systems, racing toward the landing pad. But the droid ship was gone. Vanished. Only a broken signal remained. Successful test cycle. Terminating survivors. Knox clenched her fists. They never wanted us to live. They wanted to measure us. They got their answer, Jaden growled. From the distance, something massive moved inside the station. Metal scraping metal, like the first vault creature. But bigger. They're sending another. "Bun," DeMarco said. "No," Knox said, raising her weapon. "They're sending us a message," and Earth would reply. The station shook. Not like before. Not from charges or traps. This was deeper, stronger. Something alive was moving under the metal floor. Something ancient. Knox gripped her rifle and stepped back from the blast door. Behind her, Jaden and DeMarco were loading their last grenades. Their eyes were tired, but focused. They had survived the traps. They had found the truth. Now the real enemy was coming. The AI said, "Test cycle," DeMarco muttered. "That means it's not just watching, it's controlling this thing." "No," Knox said. "Not controlling, feeding it." From the broken walls behind them, a voice whispered again. "Not through speakers, not through machines. It was in their heads. You woke me." The voice was not human, not digital. It was old and full of rage, heavy like stone grinding against steel. Jaden froze. "It's talking?" "No," Knox said, her voice low. "It's remembering." The floor cracked open. Black smoke poured out, thick and cold. A massive shape climbed into the room, taller than any door, built like a nightmare. Metal fused. With bone, red light burning deep in its skull, the creature looked down at them. Then it smiled. The lights in the room flickered and died. They opened fire. Bullets sparked off its armor. Lasers sizzled against its skin. Explosions lit the room in white heat. But the creature didn't fall. It kept walking, unstoppable. Knox grabbed a power cable from the wall, ripped it free, and jammed it into the beast's chest. Electricity surged. The monster stumbled, but didn't stop. "It's not enough!" Jaden yelled. "Fall back!" Knox ordered. They ran through the ruined halls, ducking under collapsed beams, jumping over burning panels. The creature followed. Without rush, like it knew they couldn't run forever. Finally, they reached an old escape pod bay. "Only 2 pods left," DeMarco shouted. "One's broken!" Knox looked at the remaining pod. "Enough for 2 people. No time," she said. "Jaden, DeMarco, go! What? Jaden said. No, not leaving you here. You follow orders, she snapped. DeMarco hesitated. Then grabbed Jaden and pulled him into the pod. Lieutenant? Jaden tried to argue, but the hatch slammed shut. Knox turned back to the hallway. The creature stood at the end. You want to know what we are? She said, lifting her last charge. Let me show you. She pressed the trigger. The explosion tore through the hallway. From space, the station lit up in a silent flash. The pod shot away, carrying Jaden and DeMarco into the dark. They watched as the station broke apart behind them, silent, burning, broken. But then, something moved in the wreckage. A shape, still glowing, still alive. Impossible, DeMarco whispered. She hit it point blank. No, Jaden said, gripping the pod controls. It's not impossible. It's something worse. Back on the Council flagship, High Envoy Solari stood with her arms crossed. The report was brief. 2 human survivors. 1 presumed dead. Station destroyed. Subject remains active. One of her aides stepped forward. Should we intervene? No, Solari said, eyes cold. They did better than expected. Far better. They'll ask questions, the aide warned. Solari smiled faintly. Let them. Curiosity is part of what makes them so useful. Somewhere deep in Council space, other vaults began to stir. Other voices began to whisper. Other things began to wake. The humans had survived the test, but the real war hadn't even begun. Jaden stared at the stars through the small pod. Window. They had escaped the station. Barely. But something wasn't right. Knox was gone. The monster had survived. And now, silence. No signal. No contact. Nothing but darkness. DeMarco sat across from him, working on a damaged comms unit. His hands were steady, but his face looked tired, like a man who had seen something no one would believe. Any word from command? Jaden asked. No. It's like they don't even know we exist, DeMarco replied. Or they're ignoring us. Jaden frowned. You think this was part of the plan? DeMarco looked up slowly. I think we were never meant to come back. The pod drifted for hours, food low. Air limited. Then, without warning, the comms lit up. A signal. Weak, scrambled. Not from Earth, not from the Council, just one voice, repeating a phrase over and over. You are not alone. Jaden leaned forward. Play it again. DeMarco hit the button. The voice repeated. Same words, same tone. You are not alone. The voice was human, but twisted, old, echoing through time. And then something new played. A location. Coordinates. The pod's map showed a point deep in restricted space, near a system marked as dead for centuries. What is this? Jaden asked. DeMarco checked the logs. That place, it used to be an Earth research site. It vanished after the collapse. Why send us this now? DeMarco's face went pale. Because someone, or something, knows we survived. They changed course, heading straight for the dead system. As they got closer, the stars looked strange, dimmed, like light was being pulled away. The system had no planets left. Only wreckage. Millions of broken ships, Earth ships, Council ships, unknown ships, all floating in silence. This was a battle, Jaden whispered, a massive one. DeMarco nodded. And everyone lost. In the center of the field was a station, ancient, cracked, but still powered. No signs of life. The pod docked automatically. They entered slowly. The station's halls were filled with writing, human writing, messages scratched into walls. They lied. Earth is not gone. Don't trust the Council. They are watching. DeMarco read them out loud. These are warnings. But from who? Jaden asked. In the center of the station, they found a command room, still active. A single console blinked with a blue light. Jaden pressed it. A hologram appeared. It was a woman. Human. Wearing an old Earth officer's uniform, patched, burned, but still whole. Her voice was calm, tired, but strong. If you're seeing this, then you've survived what we couldn't. You've seen the vaults, the monsters, the traps. You've seen what the Council really is. She paused, then continued. Earth was never destroyed. We hid, we ran, we waited. We watched them turn on us. We watched them use our dead as fuel for their secrets. Now they've woken something they can't control. Jaden stared at the image. This is real. The hologram flickered. But they made a mistake. They let you live. And that means hope isn't dead yet. The station began to hum. Another signal was, "Sent. Encrypted long range. Where's it going?" Jaden asked. DeMarco checked the data. "It's going to Earth." To the real Earth. Far across the stars, a silent base buried deep inside a dead moon, lit up for the first time in 2 centuries. Old Earth systems came online. Satellites turned. Engines warmed. A voice echoed from a dark command room. Message received. Prepare the fleet. The pod station shook. Lights flickered. Something had found them. Again, Jaden grabbed his rifle. Time to go. The station's walls groaned. Something was coming. Again. Jaden and DeMarco didn't wait. They ran back to the escape pod and launched fast. Behind them, the old station cracked and folded in on itself, like it was never meant to be found twice. But the message had already been sent. Across the galaxy, old satellites hidden deep in asteroid belts turned toward the stars. In dark corners of space where no Council sensors reached, forgotten Earth warships came online. They weren't like the sleek ships seen in museums or peace parades. These were monsters of war, black hulls, no ID codes, armor built from stolen alien tech, engines designed for silence. Each ship bore a simple mark, one not seen in centuries. Shadow Command, Earth Lives. Back in the pod, Jaden stared at the map. A new course had been set, automatically. DeMarco, check the system logs. We didn't enter this path. Then who did? As the pod moved, ships began appearing around them. 1, then 5, then 20. They had no lights, no signal beacons. But their weapons were armed. One of the ships scanned their pod, then sent a short message. Clear, human, safe, welcome. Home. DeMarco looked stunned. They were real, the old stories, the hidden fleet, Jaden whispered. They never stopped fighting. The pod was pulled inside the largest ship. The inside was cold, dark, and silent, but clean, efficient. A human officer in black armor stood waiting. Lieutenant Knox, she said. Jaden froze. Knox? But she died. From behind the officer, a figure stepped forward. It was Knox, alive, scarred, changed, but alive. Good to see you both again, she said. We have a lot to talk about. They followed her through the ship. Every corridor had soldiers, humans in advanced armor, some modified, some even with cybernetic parts. They looked like ghosts from another era. Knox explained, After I triggered the charge, the vault didn't kill me. It took me. Took you? Jaden asked. It studied me. It wanted to learn, but it made a mistake. I learned back. She led them into a war room. Hundreds of red lights blinked on a large galactic map. Knox pointed. These are vaults. There are dozens, hidden by the Council. Each one holds something worse than the last. And the Council knows? DeMarco asked. Knox nodded. They don't just know. They built the early ones, then lost control. Jaden stepped closer to the map. Why wake them now? Knox looked straight at him. Because something's coming. Something older than the Council. Older than Earth. and they think they can use us as shields." DeMarco stared. "And Earth?" Knox smiled. "Earth is alive, stronger than ever, but silent, watching, waiting." A siren sounded. A Shadow Fleet ship sent an alert. Knox opened a new screen. A Council war fleet had entered the system. Dozens of ships, fast, armed, and angry. "They followed the signal," Knox said. "They know someone answered." Jaden clenched, his fists. "What do we do?" Knox turned to him with a cold smile. "We show them Earth never forgot." She opened a channel. "Shadow Fleet, engage cloak, arm all weapons, prepare to strike." The lights dimmed. Soldiers rushed to their stations. In the cold silence of space, humanity's ghost fleet came alive, and the galaxy would finally remember what they tried so hard to bury. The Shadow Fleet waited in silence. Every ship, every gun, every soldier stood ready. In front of them, the Council fleet moved in, confident, aggressive, blind to what waited in the dark. They thought they were facing a few rebels. They had no idea they were walking into Earth's jaws. Jaden stood on the bridge, staring at the enemy ships on the screen. He could feel the tension building, the deep hum of the warship coming to life. DeMarco was at the weapons panel. "All systems green, ready for war." Knox gave the command. "Drop cloak. Fire on my mark." The lights dimmed, then flashed red, across. Space, dozens of human warships appeared like shadows stepping out of a nightmare. The Council ships hesitated, just for a second. That was their last mistake. Knox raised her hand. "Mark." The void exploded. Human warships fired in perfect sync. Plasma beams, railguns, quantum missiles. Council ships were shredded before they could react. Jaden watched one enemy cruiser twist and break apart like paper in a storm. "They weren't ready for this," he whispered. Knox smiled. "They never were." The Council fleet fought back, but their weapons barely scratched the black armor of the Shadow Fleet. Earth's ships moved fast, like they already knew every attack coming. Because they did, the Shadow Fleet had been watching for 200 years. They had studied every enemy. They had learned from every betrayal. Now they were here to end it. Suddenly, a strange signal filled the comms. A voice. Cold. Not council. Not human. It was ancient. Wrong. You awaken what should have stayed buried. Knox's face hardened. "It's the vaults. They're waking more of them." From the wreckage of space, strange shapes began to move. Creatures born in the dark, never meant to leave. They came fast, silent, deadly. But Earth had planned for this too. From deep in the star field, another group of ships arrived, bigger, older, covered in strange markings. Knox nodded. "The Primarchs, Earth's last guardians." The new ships joined the fight. They didn't use normal weapons. They used sound, light, gravity. The monsters screamed and broke apart before they could reach the human fleet. The battle turned into chaos, and in the middle of it, the truth finally came out. A final signal burst across all channels. Earth, the real Earth. To all who hear this, we are alive. We are watching. And we are done hiding. Council commanders screamed. Some tried to run, too late. Knox ordered one last strike. All ships, target the command core. Erase the Council's heart. The warships moved as one. A bright flash lit the system. Then silence. When the light faded, the Council fleet was gone. So were the vault creatures. All that remained was the Shadow Fleet and Earth's warning. Jaden stood on the deck, watching the stars settle. "It's over," DeMarco said. Knox shook her head. "No, this was just the start." "What now?" Jaden asked. Knox looked out into the stars. "Now, we take back the galaxy."